Considering today is Christmas Eve and there's not too much to actually report as far as Tesla stock news, we need to talk about another Tesla stock split. This is something we've never talked about here on this channel, not one single time. And eventually it will happen again. Now, as we are approaching what I think is another big breakout, I think this is a good time to talk about this because there is positive and negative implications of a stock split. Now, we're going to look at the past performance of Tesla stock during the last two stock splits. Did Tesla stock go higher? Did it fall? Did it rise before and fall after? Did it just go to the moon? We're going to talk about that here in this video. Considering today is Christmas Eve and there's not too much actually going on today, I think it's a good time to talk about Tesla stock split number 3. Believe it or not, I've never talked about another stock split with Tesla here on this channel before. So this is a first, and I think it's at a good moment in time to do so. Because Tesla stock looks like it's going to continue to break out to the upside, and 2024 is going to be a great year. So could we get a stock split in 2024? We'll talk about it here in this video. We'll also break down the pros and cons, why companies do a stock split to begin with, and what the past performance has been for Tesla's 2 stock splits so far. We have a lot to get into, so let's jump into it. But first things first, if you are watching this video, I truly want to say your family is very lucky. To have someone like you trying to create a better world for them. I commend you for that. Without any further ado, let's jump into it. Oh, by the way, Merry Christmas. So for anyone that is unfamiliar, Tesla stock has split twice. Once in August of 2020 and once in August of 2022. So it's been over a year and some months since the last stock split. Now, Tesla stock has really done a whole lot of nothing since that stock split. And Tesla's performance since the last stock split in August of 2022 has nothing to do with the split itself. Tesla stock has, done what it's done because of this period right here. Elon sold a bunch of Tesla stock. I think you guys are well aware of this, but just a quick refresher here. He sold a lot of stock here. Tesla was cutting prices during this period. Tesla stock still went higher, largely speaking, even though they were cutting prices. I think Tesla stock is about to break out to levels in which we have not seen in a very long time. That's why I think this video comes to you guys at a really good time, because I don't want you to be caught off guard by this if it does happen the way I expect. And we'll talk about that here in this video. But let's start with the performance of the last 2 stock splits. Past performance is not a guarantee of future performance, but it's a pretty good sign of what could happen. So the first time Tesla stock split was August of 2020. Shares had gained 81% between the split announcement and the day the stock split. In the following month, after the split, Tesla shares dropped about 14%, but recovered in less than 2 months and were up about 36% 6 months after the split. So during 2020, Tesla stock basically doubled in the 2-month time frame between when the split was announced, when the split actually happened. The stock fell 14% and then recovered 36% higher than that. So overall, 2020 stock split was, maybe you could say, perfect timing for Tesla, and Tesla stock did phenomenal. This was a 5-for-1 stock split. That means your 1 share just gets split into 5, and the share price goes down by 5x. The second split happened on August 24th of 2022. Specifically, on August 5th, 2022, Tesla announced that the board of directors has approved and declared a 3-for-1 split of Tesla's common stock in the form of a stock dividend to make stock ownership more accessible to employees and investors. I should also note at that time, Tesla's stock was about $900. The first split in 2020, Tesla's stock was over $2,000. So before the second split, Tesla's stock was trading at about $216 per share or so. Tesla's stock then proceeded to rally to about $315 per share. That was a gain of about 46% in the span of just over a month. But then upon this split actually taking place, Tesla's stock fell about 15.5%, down to $266. This is split adjusted, right? This is for where we are now. And then Tesla's stock did ultimately rally back to about $315. But at this point, you were kind of at the peak of the summer rally in 2022. So things kind of went downhill from there. Elon started, talking about buying Twitter and selling stock, and then ultimately that did happen. So the rest is history. So both times we have seen a stock split so far, you have seen some impressive gains. The first time better than the second time, but the market dynamics were a little bit different. Now, you could argue heading into 2024, markets are pricing in 6 or 7 rate cuts. You could have a market environment more akin to 2020-ish. Obviously, rates are not zero, but they're heading down and liquidity should be coming back into our markets. You really couldn't say the same in 2022. Quite the opposite. Liquidity was being drained out of our markets basically every single day. But now in 2024, you're heading into a more accommodative Fed and hopefully a better environment for our markets, specifically for interest rate sensitive names like a Tesla, even small and mid-cap stocks as well. Now, over the past couple of months, there has been a lot of talk about a potential stock split for Tesla again in the next coming year or so. And the reason I didn't cover that at all here on this channel, like haven't even mentioned a stock split, is because I thought it was an unrealistic possibility when Tesla was trading at $150, $200 per share. Tesla's not going to split their stock when the stock is that low. But now that we're setting up for what looks like potentially all-time highs in 2024, at least that's my base case scenario is all-time highs. That's what I'm expecting as the, outcome for 2024. In a bull case, you could see $600 per share. In a bear case, you could see like $350. Those are kind of my expectations, right? So I didn't think it was warranted to talk about a stock split in 2023. I mean, we were a year and a half away at that point, at least a year before this could even be a possibility. Now, it could be closer than we potentially think. This article from 24/7 Wall Street says Tesla stock split, why another split could happen in 2024. I bring this article up because it was written on November 4th, so it's really not that old. They say, we believe it's likely Tesla will split its stock again if it crosses $400 per share, which is possible in 2024. Let's examine the reasons why Tesla would choose to issue another stock split once its shares surpass $400 again. Number one, decreasing price per split. They just, I mean, the stock was $2,200 the first time, $900 the second time. Once you get up to a high price point, it becomes very inaccessible for a lot of people to buy whole shares of Tesla. Now, a lot of brokers do offer fractional shares, but not all of them, including Vanguard. Vanguard is huge. They don't offer fractional shares. So that's the main reason why a lot of companies like to do stock splits. It also makes stock-based compensation a little bit easier for some of their employees, right? Retirement funds, things like that. Like Tesla said in 2022, they want to make it more accessible for their employees to take advantage of the stock as well. Number 2, stock splits have been a catalyst in the past. Theoretically, stock splits don't increase the value of a company. While the price is lower, there are more total shares. However, prior stock splits have led to significant attention around Tesla stock. In August of 2020, Tesla shares gained 81% between the announcement of a stock split and when the split occurred. Obviously, that was a very bullish time in the market, but the fact remains that stock splits attract more attention. So some people that really just didn't even have Tesla on their radar, or maybe that's hard to do it at this point, given how big Tesla is. Tesla has seen more retail inflows than the SPY. I mean, that's the ETF that tracks S&P 500. Like, Tesla is very popular with retail investors. I think this would be a bit bigger problem for potentially the shorts if, the last 2 examples of a stock split produced 81% returns, 46% returns the second time around. You probably don't want to see what's in store the third time around, which could be somewhere between 46 and 81%, just judging on where the markets are currently at compared to 2020 and 2022. There's a lot more liquidity, a lot more enthusiasm around buying stocks, getting back into the markets for a lot of people than where we were in 2022 when inflation was 7, 8, 9%, and the Fed showed no signs of slowing down their interest rate hikes. So I think the return probably could be somewhere in the middle of those 2 numbers. Now, they say 3, another stock split could make Tesla a Dow component. This is something I didn't even think about that is fascinating. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has 30 of the most blue chip companies in America. In 2009, General Motors was removed from the Dow after an 83-year run, leaving the index with no automakers. With Tesla now solidly profitable and rapidly becoming an iconic American brand, it could be attractive to add another automaker to the index. However, as noted earlier, the Dow is a price-weighted index, which means the stock price of stocks joining the Dow matters. So basically, the higher your stock is, the more weighting you get in the Dow, which is a crazy way to run an index. And I don't know why the Dow still does this, but yeah, the price definitely does matter when it comes to the Dow. It says, as of later 2023, just a single Dow component trades for more than $500 a share. It's likely the Dow would prefer Tesla trading for $100 to $200 per share versus higher prices above $400. That way, Tesla doesn't affect the performance of the index in an outsized way. They say, given all of these factors, you can see why it would be in Tesla's interest to split its shares once again if its share price surpasses $400 per share and perhaps even lower levels. So maybe not even $400 per share, maybe like $350, which I find kind of interesting as well. And it's also worth noting that Tesla at $400 per share would mean the company is worth about $1.25 trillion, which is really not too unrealistic for 2024. Like I said, that's my base case for 2024. Just think about all of the crap Tesla had to endure. Inflation just killing the consumer. The highest interest rates Tesla has ever faced before in its business history. Rates have never been like this for Tesla. Tesla's still putting up some pretty ridiculous numbers here. If and when, really when, not if, but when rates do come down, and they likely come down faster than even what the markets are currently expecting, you're going to see interest rates fall to buy new vehicles, and the consumer is going to get a real boost there. Likely so will Tesla. In my opinion, Tesla is probably going to raise prices again in 2024, as Tesla has made it very clear it's really all about the monthly payment. People don't care if they're financing a $100,000 car if it costs them $500 a month, or if they're financing a $30,000 car that costs them $500 $500 a month. That's what matters, is the monthly payment, whether or not people can afford that. Teslas can no longer be $65,000 for a Model Y because people can't afford a, $900 payment on average. No, it's got to be $40,000 or so. People might be able to afford a $650, $700 payment easier than a $900+ payment. Tesla, that's hurt their margins, but they probably get much better in 2024. Tesla is also trading at a record low valuation for Tesla standards, and that's really, again, due to market dynamics, rates being so high, the pessimism around Tesla and Elon Musk, really just attacking Elon at this point, every chance the media can get. The feared hard landing, and to Tesla's own fall. I mean, Elon, every time there's an earnings call, he comes on and says some outrageous things that causes Tesla stock to not do so well following earnings. All of these things have really taken a hit to Tesla's valuation. And considering that, I mean, there's probably some room for valuations to increase quite a bit in 2024. I think you could probably see the PE get back to 100. For context, the PE was 1,200 during 2020 and 2021. So that would be multiples lower than the highest PE we've seen for Tesla. So I think 100 times PE is pretty respectable, at least in the second half of 2024. Mix that with a, $4.50 EPS or so, you're looking at $450 per share for Tesla stock. If the EPS comes in higher, well, Tesla stock will likely go higher as well. This does set up the door for a potential stock split number 3. And again, in the near term, this really doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the valuation. Nothing fundamentally quantifiable, right? You can't put a number on the value increase because there really isn't any. But there is value in lowering the share price, because then you allow more people to get into the stock, which can help the stock move higher. Again, some brokerages do not offer fractional shares still. You can also see some preservation to valuations, or at least to some degree when you raise the amount of shares outstanding, right? So a stock like Berkshire Hathaway, right? I think it's Berk A, that is like $350,000 a share, something crazy like that. That's because there's only 1 million shares outstanding. So the stock theoretically can move a lot. It moves like $20,000 a day. If it's a volatile day, it can move more than that. If, let's say, Berk A did do a bunch of stock splits, the stock is less likely to be so volatile to be able to fall as hard on any given period of time. So you can create a little bit more stability in the valuation. The stock splits that we have seen with Tesla, the 2 so far, probably one of the reasons why Tesla has been able to cut prices and the fundamentals, the valuation itself has went down, and Tesla stock is still, in the grand scope of things, still very high compared to where it was in like 2019. A lot of this value preservation was probably due to some of the stock splits as well. Now, there are also some other kind of smaller positives to this as well. Think about it like this. If you had 25 shares of Tesla and Tesla did a 1-for-4 stock split, then you would have 100 shares of Tesla. You could start selling calls, doing different option strategies, because now you have 100 shares, even though it's the same value, you're not gaining any value. You can start to dabble in some, covered call strategies, different option activities. Maybe the options become a little bit cheaper. So that could also be a net positive for Tesla stock investors. According to Fortune.com, the pros to stock splits: 1, make shares more affordable. 2, may trigger renewed investor interest. The cons could trigger volatility. Usually we do see a sell-off after the split itself does occur. And another con is it does not add any value, at least in the short term. The total value of your asset for the stock in question remains the same. You could make an argument, though, that over time, give it 10, 20 years, if Tesla ever pays a dividend, well, you might actually end up receiving more dividends because of the stock split. But that's just guessing and trying to, put numbers on things that might never happen. So like I said, I would expect Tesla could probably rally 50%, maybe more than that, upon announcing a stock split, just because there's so much investor activity around Tesla. The market dynamics are improving a lot, seems like every couple of weeks or so. You're getting more money coming back into stocks. Tesla has seen a lot of inflows this year from retail investors, but the broader markets have not. You're starting to see that, and I think you're going to see that a lot more in 2024, which is going to help Tesla stock dramatically. And that's another reason, again, why I think Tesla stock could have a chance of seeing a stock split in 2024. Now, it's probably going to be the second half of 2024 if I were to guess, unless Tesla really just puts up some phenomenal numbers and people get super excited about Tesla again, which I'm not going to sit here and forecast that's going to happen in the next couple of months. I do think a large rally is coming, but all-time highs, I mean, that could be in the second half of 2024. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's be realistic here. But I am expecting this is going to happen, and I do think it's a pretty likely outcome that we do see a stock split in 2024. Now, here in the short term, I've been very vocal on this. I think before the next kind of big crash or correction event, Tesla stock could be over $300 per share. Why? I believe FSD is entering into the Chinese market either this month, which is almost over, so it'd be like this upcoming week after Christmas, or in January. We've seen a lot of rumors about this. Usually Tesla rumors end up being Tesla, facts. Usually it ends up happening. Just takes a little while. So we've gotten these rumors. I think that's coming. I think that's a huge catalyst that probably sends Tesla stock up 10% in a single day, I would imagine. And then we're not at the point where we're actually heading into a recession. The data still looks really good. Inflation just continues to fall. And as we head into, the last week of this year, and especially the start of 2024, there's a lot of money that will come into the markets. And I really think that is a huge catalyst in and of itself to send Tesla stock much higher. So I personally don't think we will get a stock split until Tesla stock is right at about all-time highs, if not maybe like 450, like I said. I don't think we have to go to $900 per share again. I think Elon notices the benefits of a stock split, and I think Elon ultimately wants to make Tesla stock affordable for retail investors to get involved, for his employees to get involved if they would like as well. Obviously, buying Tesla's stock just for a stock split makes absolutely no sense, so don't do that. But hey, at some point in 2024, could Tesla stock get a 50% boost or so because of a stock split? I think so. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. That's going to do it. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, every time we make trades, I make trades, other people post their trades. I send out alerts almost every single day. Not every day, but almost every single day. Check out that link down below in the description of this video. We have been absolutely killing it over there, so I would love it if you guys could come join us. Come join the action over there. You can get involved anytime, 24/7. We're always there to answer any questions, problems, concerns that you have, or just, to teach each other things. So that is it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.